Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Practice in China.
And in Vietnam, the shrimp farms, apparently they are horrendous for pollution.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you going to 4?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
We're going to not too much. Okay, so so what I would like to do it now is each one of you should have an action plan on what out of these 7 they want to apply. So if we can go on a reflection or a sharing session right now, is which one of these 7 would you do right away so you can show it to us on Saturday? You want to go?
Have a product sheet and a landing page.
So you want to have a product sheet and landing page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Product sheet.
Product sheet. Raveen?
Yeah, I want to have a product sheet, brochure, a script for the phone as well as the email.
So can you have this by Saturday?
Yeah.
You come Saturday with that. If you don't come with that, we'll send you to the dark room.
You asked me to bring more cogs.
I don't bring up. Just Marcel, where you stand?
Yeah, landing page and product sheet, but I won't be here on Saturday.
Okay.
You know that already.
Yeah.
You're gonna mail it in. You're gonna mail it in.
If you want to get
and then listen to the recording, or how do you guys dissect it without me being here?
How do we even survive?
Mike, what's your next?
Actually, I agree with everyone else. Product sheet and landing page.
So we are midway right now. If you don't have a product sheet, the red flags will start to kick in, because within a 90 days plan, the product sheet should come in the first 2 weeks. So if you don't really have a draft of a product sheet where you are working on and making it better right now, it's really the clock will start to tick.
So the red flag says
You may not be able to produce something effectively selling in April. And it's a quite common, because in my experience doing this business for about 2.5, 3 years right now, which is basically where I had a longer interaction with people. People come through the door with their own ideas. They want to do that. They want to do this. They want to do that. The minute we sat together, there is one piece of material which you should have. I think Mike has it from different courses, which called brand exercise. So if you do the branding exercise, it will show you what's only product you can offer. If you did this exercise with us, you will start to shift your perception. Then we go on the product sheet exercise and we talk about the benefits. Quite often,
Do you understand what you're saying? It's about creating what's called the blue ocean.
the blue ocean kind
So
of thing.
you're not a Me Too. You're not a change management Me Too guy. You're just like, hey, those are the change management guys. This is Claude, and why are you different? So, when you get close to the edge of the ocean, there's all the garbage and stuff like that, and everything's kind of turbulent. Whereas if you go deeper, all of a sudden the water starts opening up, right? Because you got no more competition around you. And that's what the branding exercise does. It creates that uniqueness of why you're special, why you're not, Joe Realtor out there with everyone else.
And this exercise is 19 questions only. It's not big. 19 questions will take about 6 hours to answer. Yes, 19 questions will take about 6 hours to answer. Okay, because they are not questions to answer. They are basically open-ended questions where you go there, you will start to answer them. You go home. 6 weeks later, you still keep answering the questions, because it's a thought process which will get you into more clarity. It's not a question needs an answer. Then you go through the product sheet. And you face the problem of, I cannot articulate my benefits. After that, you need to capture the skills of how to communicate, which basically selling through presentation, which is a workshop we have. How you can sell through presentation your offer. So these are the 3 steps which is required. In sales through presentation, we talk a little bit about sales and the closing deal, which how you can overcome objections. And I believe almost all of you went at least through 1 or 2 sessions of selling through presentation. That's right. So these are the steps which you should be able to achieve a decent offer on what you are doing. And all of these steps are actually recorded on the online portal, so you should be able to see these videos with different groups of people, with different set of information, but all of these are part of what we offer.
So BE branding exercise?
We call it the branding exercise.
And it's online?
It's available online, and if enough interest, I can do a special session for you guys to sit through it. If some of you did not do it. I know Mike did a version of it somewhere else, but as I said, like I'm more than happy to do it like in some other time.
I didn't do it.
Okay.
No, I didn't do it either.
So let's talk on Saturday when you can have time and I can do one.
Product sheet and
A product sheet and then selling through presentation, which is you attended, I believe, when we talk about the steps to present and how to close an offer. I think this is the very first session you attended. And then sales and the closing deal is a complementary part. If you have this four, you can go and just sell on your own.
and what's the last one?
Sales and the closing deals.
Oh, I see. Sales to present is one. Steps to present is one, and
Sales and the closing deals.
sales to close an offer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the 4 steps you need to do. Websites and social media and how to put all of things together are optional because you may not need. If you don't do your website, you don't do your website. If you have skills, like few of us here have the skills of doing the websites, we talk about that. But as a primary individual who wants to be able to sell, you must have these 4 levels of education.
So can you mention him again?
Is a branding exercise
Yeah.
will help you to figure out how you can put a product sheet and why people wants to buy from you, which is me only, not me special. You can do sales through presentation, so you can stand and present to 3 people or more, and you get them to buy your offer. And the last one is sales and the closing deal, when you have to overcome objections.
And still overcoming objections.
Overcoming objections is the biggest challenge people struggle with. Okay? Any more questions? Each one of you have an action for Saturday? Can you please do your actions? Because I would love with this group that we can sell products in early April. We can go online and sell these products. Okay? Any more questions? We can have more time. I can be here till like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So if you guys wants to keep going, I can keep going. If you are done, okay. So can we just have a closing reflection? So Mike, what's your reflection for the day?
Closing reflection was just, taking one bite at a time. Just tackling little points. And, yeah, like I said, it's a big pie.
Okay.
It's a big pie out of a lot of puzzle pieces we've touched on before. Like the product sheet comes always back as the basis of everything you do in marketing materials. So it's good to have those puzzle pieces put together again.
Marina, what do you?
Yep, same. Also, a couple of new venues that you mentioned that I hadn't thought of. One was EI, Employment Agency. You know, EI? That they have classes that they run for people who are looking for work. So why not make a proposal to them that I can present to them? I don't know how to do it.
We can talk offline how we do it, because I looked at these funding programs for people before from the government. There are $6,000 per head, and they don't expect anything to be done. So the quality people will not be there. But you can always explore this as venues. And there's also the private, what they call it, placement agencies. Because many companies will give them, with the retirement package, they give you like 6 weeks of training, or 6 weeks, or 2 months with a recruiter over positioning agency, placement agency. And the question I asked before is, how many of those who actually got jobs? And the answer was none. Yep.
The other one I thought it was MNP, something like that, which is kind of falls into the private training programs
Okay.
for entrepreneurs.
What is MMP?
MNP, Myers Norris Penny.
Okay.
Claudia, what do you say?
I applied what I teach and what I present some years ago, and when I was employed by GCL Construction Management, and I ran a 3-year program teaching this stuff. It was very successful, and when they decided to end the program because it was an overhead cost, I wanted to continue teaching this material, and they said no. And I said, why? They said, because it empowers people. So that is true. That's exactly what they said. And they said, we don't want you to empower people because we want to be able to give them a 2-hour notice that they're done working. That was foremen, field supervisors, and workers. So that objection I've been working on resolving for the past 11 years. Now, I have learned a lot since I've been coming here, but I don't know that I'm getting the answers that I need to keep moving forward because of that context. So presenting to the construction industry is really the toughest industry that I can present this program to.
However,
but it's not limited to the construction industry.
it's not limited. However, if you have the product sheets ready, you can get specific objections. Like when I started, I can share with you my personal experience. When I started, I had an idea in mind. I remember, Marcel, you were there early on when we started. I came into one course and I prepared material for this course. I was so happy coming back and teaching this material. And I covered in the course in 8 hours. We were 8 hours, not 6 like now. I covered less than 5% of my preparation. Because I learned that people don't need to know more details. They need to practice and share, and we do these activities and do this and that. So when I launched my program, I had an idea. I had some information. When I applying it now for the 7th cycle, I believe this is the 7th cycle for some of them, the content have been different. After the 2nd cycle, everything have been changed. Because the minute you have an offer and you hand it out, you will get feedback which will make you reposition what you have. And if you see the very first videos I have, again, it's the most recent ones. Some of them actually have the same name. You'll see a different change because I was doing something and I know now people don't need that. So if you have an offer and you put it on the table, very well scripted, very written, and you send it out, you can tell. They will tell you what they need. The construction is not tough. Actually, the construction is the only industry right now which they have lots of money. because there's so many projects coming right now. There's so many condos coming right now. There's so many roads coming right now. So one of the evolving economy right now is the sector of constructions and the infrastructure. That's right.
Oh, I agree.
So if you have the material written, if you have the website and you have the material written, you can make the approach. And then if it's legitimate to other people as well, you can make a decision if you want to go behind them.
I'll work on it.
Okay, so next time we see the product sheet and we can make some
comments,
yeah.
some
we can provide, we basically
feedback.
share and provide some feedback.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's to have this last page is give me a lot of clarity and lots coming together. And while it was pieces everywhere, now it's really okay. I can see the plan, so it's good.
That's good.
So one thing that you brought up about the construction industry and the 3 days. The interesting thing is that with my basic workshop. Originally it's 2 days, and I found myself that there wasn't enough practice time, so I added the Friday evening. And now from head office, they said there's not enough practice time, and they added the Friday. So I had to move from Friday evening to a full day Friday, and that also makes people have to take a day off.
Yes, individuals can decide to have a day off or have a low day or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you come to the Nurses Association, they will not get 3 days. Like Alberta Health Region will not allow anybody to go off for more than 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, Roya is there, so I know. Like she will go for 1 full day workshop for something, and then she will go and come back, but she cannot go for 2 or 3 or 4 days.
But then they would have to take the weekends and a day off.
She is not in position, she will not be willing to take the weekend because the weekend is her own time. So she will
seems to be working in the States.
It's function, you have to understand how they contract these people.
Yeah.
Like I know, like she will go having like acupuncture on some other stuff which is not related to her work. But the minute thing coming from Alberta Health, they will see it as what I said. How much are we getting paid for? Are we getting full paid for? I know that some of her colleagues will not go because they don't cover anymore the money for parking. And when they go to the South Campus, they have to pay for parking.
Mm-hmm.
So they will try to avoid going to these workshops. So what we had a conversation today, I think it's eye-opener for people, like how you can apply within specific areas or specific fields. Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Any final thoughts? Okay. So if you have no more questions, we can just conclude today, and let me know how can I help you in a different way if you like.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.